Hello everyone and welcome to a rather strange game that is now appearing on your screen. It's Music 3000 that was published by Codemasters, I believe. Jester were the main people behind it, and the music series ran across PS1 and PS2. Had two different kind of strains of it for Jester. So there was a couple of games that were sponsored by MTV, and they become the MTV Music Generators. And they become quite riff heavy, so that you would basically drag and drop riffs onto a grid, as you can see before you in like this space here, and seem to go for a bit more dance and electronic type thing. The music series tried to be a bit more for the actual artist itself as opposed to the DJ, so that it would give you the granularity if you wanted it to. The music generators did these too, but you could. It was geared to more towards actually producing music and making a song your own. So I'm going to try and explain very, very quickly, which is difficult to do with this game, especially when it comes with a one-page manual. So you really are left completely with a blank slate for trying to work out where everything was. Apologies for the squeak, that was my sofa. So you have this grid here, and you can see that I'm just circling around it on my arrow, and this is effectively how you build a song. Each line as it goes down, apart from the first two, so the first one is volume, so you can change the volume of the overall song that you're making, and then you've got the beats per minute, so the tempo essentially that you can change there. But then everything afterwards, for I think it's 24 or 48 tracks, you can start dragging and dropping in all different samples or create your own, so that you can build a song as you go. Now, the best place to start with that, and sorry, your song goes from top of the screen down, so if you press up and down you can see I'm going through like essentially bars. So bar number 1 is the first one, and it can go on for as long as you want. I think 15 minutes is what you can do. There's lots of other stuff that you've got there as well. So up on the top over here you have different loops that you can try and get round. So you've got pop, trance, garage, hip hop, indie and metal. So I'll start with let's go indie. Then underneath you've got loops. That's it for indie, sorry. Is this why? Okay, right. Sorry, my fault. So I'm currently sitting in the drums loop now, and I can go between all the different styles that I've got up on the top, but then each style has its own different variety as well. So you can just go for specific garage kick drums if you want, or you can go for garage drum loops, or just percussive sounds or snares. So if I was in garage and I went to loops, I could load up, let's go for big blender because it's actually a few things. Once it's loaded I press start, and that's what the loop is. And if I'm happy with that, whilst that's selected, I then move my cursor across and essentially drop it into my mix. I'm quite happy with that, so I'm going to do that a few times over so that I've created a loop of sorts. If I wanted additional percussion over the top, let's say every 4 I want I don't know, a smash or something. This might not be the best place to go for it because I don't know what I'm listening to until I listen to it. Okay. So if I wanted that every 4, I just drag that in there, and then again, and again. And this is how you effectively build up your mix. So I'll dive across and I'll have another go. Everyone loves a snare drum. Go for a snare shot. So in my second phase of my song, admittedly it's a 16 bar song, I'll put that in the second half. So we're starting to build up quite a nice little drum collection. What I'd now like to do is move across to the bass. And let's try Bada Boom. So that's quite a heavy riff, that one. I'm not sorry. I'm not sure if I want to go for that because it's quite offset. Let's try Jet Set. That doesn't really work for me either. Let's dive across to, let's go indie. Can't really hear anything at all there. What about Oh My 2? Or Underpin? That sounds like it should be quite big. I don't know. So let's add that across then. We'll pick any old thing. The bass sounds like it's going to get drowned out by everything else I've got going on anyway, so bad mix for me. And then let's move on to melodies. So Broken, that sounds cheerful. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Let's drop that in. Oh, let's not do that. Let's press that button instead, Simon. Oh, it's lost what I was trying to do, so let me reselect that. It's quite difficult to control initially because it's treating the controller. In fact, I'm going to delete that and we'll do Broken 2 in between. It treats the controller very much like a mouse, so the right analog stick is what I'm using to control the cursor, and then you literally have to click in on the analog stick to place and drop something. So it does take a little while to get going. So I've put in Broken 2, assuming that it's similar to the other one. What we'll do is we'll play this from the top. You can actually hear the snare making a difference. That's nice. So no, none of it really goes, but this is just to try and demonstrate what you can do in this. So I'm just going to now dive across to vocals.
All your friends, check me out.
Okay. Always with these types of things, that they're always very Europop.
Take a moment to reflect.
We'll chuck it in.
Till the morning light. Whoa.
Right. It's gonna... Ah, I've lost it again. I keep doing that. And if you've already placed something on there, you can clone it and then re-drop it in somewhere else. And what you can also do with select is to start highlighting collections of things. So if you want to do like a whole collection of stuff again, like for a second chorus, you can click and drag and take that whole lot with you.
Oh my baby, you look good.
This is utter tosh. Right. And let's just, for lols, change the female singer halfway through to Lingham.
Drop to the beat.
It makes no sense. Let's stick it in there. So now, what have we got? Oh,
Take a moment to reflect. Till morning light. Oh, my baby, you look good. Drop to the beat.
isn't that awful? But you get the idea with it anyway. And then what you're able to do if you've still got stuff. So I'm in like a certain mode at the moment. You can then insert a USB sampler or a microphone so that you could actually sample different instruments and starting to play with them and make them sound different, put on different effects, that kind of stuff. What else have we got on here that I'm happy to dive into? No, we'll leave that as that for now. What you can then also do is switch to video library mode. And this is where you start to put on like a little music video alongside it. As you can see, they're very tight and twisty things. But if I wanted to have the bunny bot, you've got this here. Oh crap, it's done the bunny. I wanted the bunny bot, not the... So I want to delete that, and I want to have bunny bot in. The idea being that you can then click on
Take a moment to reflect. Till morning light. Oh, my baby, you look good.
and start creating an actual music video to it. Some of the stuff's really, really cool. You can combine different effects and stuff like that together. So you've got animation, you've got hominoid, which if I just... If I put some of that in there as well. Let's do a dancing girl. But yeah, so what else have we got on here? Manufact, I don't even know what that means. Sign text, okay. And terrafirm. Let's go for baboon. And then you can place things at different points. So some stuff's in the foreground, some stuff's at the background. I'm just literally clicking random shit. Which will be good because then we'll do the final.
Take a moment to reflect. Till morning light. Oh, my baby, you look good. Drop to the beat. Take a moment to reflect. Till morning light. Oh.
Beautiful. It's the number one waiting to happen. But that's Music 3000 at a very high level run through. You've got that, you've got the ability to remix tracks that people of the time had made. So different DJs had submitted stuff in. Paul Oakenfield is probably the best known one that's still going today. Timo Maas as well. And Khalees, I believe, is on it as well, just looking at the back very quickly. Yes, 1600 instrument samples, 20 different reverb effects, 64 audio channel track, which is the things down the middle. For its time, it was amazing, but it's very difficult to consider the PS2 a genuine audio place. to build music and have that be your sole place. But I wasted hours more on the earlier editions of the music games, but this is the best one I think of the music games that came to PS2. So 2 thumbs up. Many hours lost, many dodgy videos made. You guys all take care, and I'll see you again on Higher Plane Games. Don't forget to submit your top 20. Bye!